but I'll tell you what, anytime anybody asks me about a recommendation for lighting or sprinkler systems or anything to do with home care, I always talk about TLC.
Hey, Bob Carr here for the Bob Carr Show. In the studio today, I got a very special friend, Tom Locke. Tom, welcome.
Well, thank you, Bob. I'm happy to be here, I think.
You think? Come on, Special Agent Locke. Tell us a little bit about the FBI and when you started out until today.
I started out a long time ago in 1970.
1970?
And I was there for 32 years. As a matter of fact, yesterday was the 20th anniversary of my retirement from the FBI.
Wow.
So that's 52 years of doing
Law
this kind of stuff, yeah. I'm so old that I worked for J. Edgar Hoover for 2 years before he died. Yeah,
no, you
I
didn't.
Sure did.
Did you?
Yeah. Of course, a lot of people make fun of the fact that I worked for so long in the FBI. They sometimes say that my two biggest cases were the Lincoln assassination and the Lindbergh kidnapping, but that's not true. But I worked from 70 to 2002. Shortly after 9/11, I retired. Had a great career, was able to be at the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the right time, and was able to do a number of things that a lot of agents didn't have the opportunity to do. A lot of people have heard of the Joint Terrorism Task Forces now that the FBI has in all the field offices. I was the first supervisor of the first one in New York City in 1980. In 1983, I did the Bureau's first extraterritorial terrorism investigation when the American Embassy got bombed in Beirut, Lebanon. And then when 9/11 came along, they chose me to lead the worldwide investigation for the first 30 days.
No kidding.
Had about 7,500 of the 11,000 agents working for me at that time.
How many?
7,500. 21, 22-hour days, just enough time to get home, take a quick shower, change of clothes, and get back to work.
You lived that round the clock.
Yeah, sure did. Then I retired in July 31st of 2002, started my own consulting company. About 15 years ago, started doing some work for Governor Haley Barbour and his lobbying firm downtown, Barbour, Griffith & Rogers, BGR. But you and I started off shortly after I got back to headquarters for the last time in 1999, 2000. And I bought a house over in Gambrills. I needed some sprinkler system and a lighting system and a few other things. I ran into this guy by the name of Bob Carr, who came over and probably presented me with the most professional plan that I had ever seen for a sprinkler system or a lighting system. And we've been friends for the last 20 plus years. You've handled all of the issues over there. And then when I moved 5 or 6 years ago out to Edgewater, you've even handled that area, doing some lighting and some sprinkler systems. There. And I always look forward to the time that we can be together. So.
Talking about good rides, you still got your Harley?
I sure do. Changed it a little bit. I had my knee replaced a couple years ago, so I did wind up getting a trike a couple years ago. But I was out yesterday. As a matter of fact, rode over to the Eastern Shore on a charity ride with got a police escort. We went over the Benedictine school over there in the Eastern Shore, and we had just a good day, good rides, about 50 miles out, 50 miles back, and. So it was certainly a worthy cause and just a great day.
You still got your motorhome?
Sure do. 2013, my brother and I wanted to go out to Sturgis, and we were going to rent a motorhome and pull our bikes out there so we could take the ride out and be part of the festivities. And as it turned out, they didn't have any toy hauler type motorhomes that I could put the bike in for rent. So they had one that they had for sale, so I wound up buying a toy hauler from Leo's up the road here.
I never realized that's why you bought that for.
Yeah, did about 16 days, went out and saw some wonderful things out there, and then I also saw some things that are burned in my memory I can't get rid of. So, I had never seen a stripper pole on a bike before, but I saw one out there. It was a bike that had a sidecar from Louisiana, and the sidecar had a stripper pole on it. So
that's different.
Yes, different. You just never know.
I appreciate you coming in today, Tom.
Well, that's quite all right. I'm happy to be here. Whenever Bob Carr calls, I'm more than happy to accommodate him. Anything to do with home care, I always talk about TLC.
Appreciate that, Tom, and likewise, and we appreciate you coming in.
Oh, you're welcome, Bob.
This wraps up another episode of the Bob Carr Show. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll talk to you next week on another episode of the Bob Carr Show.